Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Here, 8 o'clock, I think. I don't know whether the time.
Yes.
So I warmly welcome you, ma'am. And today I think you're going to do the session, and we are newcomers, and I don't know what to speak and all other teachers, preschool teachers, of course. I warmly welcome you, and I ask them to join with this conference. I think it will be valuable for us because of we all are preschool teachers. I am from Vellavaya, it means Mondragala district. I have owned my preschool and there are about 131 students in my preschool.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your warm welcome. So, before starting the session, good evening, everyone. I would like to express my gratitude to Janaka sir, if I'm saying it right, Janaka Kamal Gonda sir, and even my principal. I would like to extend my thanks to our principal Prashant Sharma sir from Jindal Vidya Mandir, Washin, for the constant motivation and support. To my colleague, Mr. Amol sir, who was a guidance, a mentor for me, as I am also working in the preschool sections. We do all have same situations, but we need to unlearn and learn ourselves. So, how to do it? So, this was the first step when I had my accent research, that what issues we face, what problems we face. So all these things gave me the result to do the accent research. So these were the people who were constantly helping me out and supporting me. So I do believe that in learning and sharing and improving our society and nation, as a nation builder, we play a crucial role. Let's explore the accent research today's topic. So here, an action research approach for early childhood and primary educations. I'm facing her. So today we are going to see an importance of foundation stage learning, crucial for early childhood education, and lay for groundwork for future learning and skill. Action research, what? Method to solve problem and improve practice in education. Why? Improve teaching, addresses challenges, enhance outcomes. And how? Identify issues, plan intervention, implementation, observe, and reflect. So, teachers, I want to know, why do you think that the foundational stage is very much important in learning perspective? I'm asking why it is very important in the child's life. Can anyone answer in the chat box? Yes. Why do you think it is very important in child's life? I can get it. As a child is a foundation of education, because I want to manage the class first and I teach them. Okay. Why we are focused in the early childhood educations? Why it is very important? Nowadays it is very important, the early, the foundation level of the students. Why do you think so? Yes. Yes, very good answer. Yes, that's shows that how much we are into it. As the children brain is developed 80%. Yes, you are absolutely right, ma'am. Devi ma'am, Shaniki ma'am. Yes. So here we'll see in the slide. So now, in a scientific way, we can say that why the early childhood education is very much important. As the child is born, we all know that the child doesn't get all the senses all together, right? So here there is a thing called neurons, which is in the child's brain. The neurons are the brain cells that carry the message between the brain and the body. So when the child is born, there is a little connection in their brain which gives them experience, whatever the experience they have, whatever the things they relate to, it create a memory in their brain, and which build a foundation in the early childhood education. So that's why, yes, absolutely right, ma'am. So that's why they help in thinking, feeling, moving, and learning in the early childhood education. Now, why are neuron important in early childhood? As ma'am said, very brilliant answer, Prasanti ma'am. So that is 90% of the brain is developed happen at the till the age of 6, right? The brain builds a connections rapidly when the children are exposed to a rich and meaningful learning. So hence, we all know that that's why it is very important that in early childhood education, the teachings which will they will have throughout their life, and the experience they have, it will remain throughout their life journey. So here the main aspect is that sensorial experience, play based learning, language rich environment, emotional bonding, these are the some of the things, experience that will remain lifelong. So we have to see that how we can create such an atmosphere where the children can have all these things, providing multi-sensorial activities, ensuring safe and loving environment. Just now I saw you were presenting many presentations, teachings, and everything. So these all is the base for our students. Using repeated, like in rhymes, recitations, activities which we are having hands-on. All this create an experience for our students. So that's why it is very important the foundational level of the students to be built strong. Like how we build a building, a strong building can stand only if it has a strong foundation. A teacher centric, where only the teacher used to teach and the student used to come and learn. So it was a teacher centric, but now it is, you can see the different types of learner. So now the education has become how? The child centric. We have to think how the children will learn. We have to think in the way of the students thinking, catering to all their needs. Now here is a preschool structure which I have observed, which we have like in India 3 to 6 and 3 to 5 in Sri Lanka. But in India, we are now using first and second also, as we think that it's a foundational level till the age of 3 to 8. So we saw about the child centric, and now we are looking at childhood education. So here you can see just now, next slide, sir. Yes. So this is the how the brain development happens in the early stage. You can see the neuron connections, right? Till the age group of at the birth, how it is. The child is experiencing the things which is happening in his life, and it is building a connection in his in the neurons. You can see that he is developing an experience and informations, and it is getting connected towards its brain. So you can see lot of information is getting collected till the age from the birth till the age of the 8. You can see this, the same thing it is shown, how the newborn baby, then the 3 months old, he experiences and information is get collected. So this is also one of the examples of the brain development happens in the students. So every movement in the foundation stage is the brain building opportunities. The right environment, experience, and emotions help the neuron to connect strong and faster. So next slide. Next slide, sir. So here you can see the development happens. We say that milestones as per us, the sensory pathway, which is there according to the age from the birth. Then the child slowly and steadily develop the language. When he hear the language, when he listens to the people around him, when he get the exposures, so how he develop his language. Then as per the age grows, as per his experience, as the neuron connection happens, there is a higher cognitive function happening in his life. So that's why the neuron connection for different functioning develops sequentially. So that's why it is very important the foundational stage, how we can have a strong foundation for our students. Next slide, sir. Now, where did the accent research begin? Now, here one of the information is that Kurt Lewin, a German American psychologist, he introduced the accent research. Now, what was the need for that? During the Second World War, the whole world was facing the situations, right? So he felt that there should be some change, some reformation in the teaching, learning. So here is that so he felt there was a need of some research work in the educations in the field which helped us to build the accent research. Now we too have in education different psychologists who has made the Montessori and the early childhood education. We have going through our books and everything. Now how it helped us to develop the children, to understand the children, the level of the teaching, the different types of learner. So how it helped us. So this all things we can also do, we can also experience as per the 21st century skill. We have to develop our children so that they can cope up with the current situations. They can help come out from the how the future will be there for them. So these all things, these all questions are there in the 21st century skill. So these things we can cater through the action research. Now next slide, sir. There is one more definition you can see here. An accent research is a process where teachers study their own classroom practices to understand what works best and improve students' learning. It is a cycle of observing, planning, acting, reflecting done by teachers for teachers. Now, what happened in the accent research? Basically, we cater to our problems, what are the situations which we face in the classroom. As I asked, that many of you find many of the situations where you feel that yes, what I can do for this. So how to deal with it? The first thing which comes in our mind is first, what will be our problem which we are facing in the classroom? So how we are going to deal with it? So this is what the accent research is all about. The accent research is a process where the teachers study their own classroom, practice to understand what works the best for the improvement of the students. So this is how we are going to do the accent research in the classroom. Next slide, sir. As this is also one of the information that accent research is a teacher-led process of studying one's own classroom to improve practices and study learning. Now we as a facilitator, as a teacher, we have to lead and take the process. We all know that students are also given the project. They were also asked to do it. But we as a nation, as a teacher, we have to see that how we can deal with the students, how we can improve our teaching practice so that we can cater to our teach students what challenges we face, what problems we face, how we can deal with it. So these all things we are going to learn in the Axel research. Next slide, sir. Now here is one of the quote that the best teacher always learn from their own classrooms. Now, we have a class 30, 25 students learner. Like there will be different types of learners. Some will be average, some will be below average, some will be good in studies. But we have to see that how we can cater to all the students in the classroom. How we can see that if we are doing one of the accent research, how we can see that one topic can be explained in the different way so that we can deal with different types of learner. And the learning outcome, that is very important for our accent research. So here some of the things which we can have in our classrooms. So next slide. So here is the thing that accent research in the classroom. So how you can carry as a researcher the accent research in the classroom. You all face a issue in your classroom. So that is your first question which will be in the mind, that there is a problem in my classroom, problem in the sense the challenge which you're facing. So first thing is that how to deal with it. So carry out an investigation involving the classroom situation. Now there will be different types of problems you will be facing in the classroom. Some may have that the child is not able to write. Some may have problem that the child is not listening to the teachers. So we as a researchers, we have to do the research that how we can deal with it. You can discuss with your colleague that yes, today I had one problems. So how I can deal with it, and you can share it with others also. The first thing is that carry out the investigation involving the classroom different problems. Some may listen, some may not. So there will be different issues in the of learner. So first thing is that you have to investigate what is your issue, what is the problem, then identify the problem. What is the real problem in the classroom? You have to identify. First, you have to say what is the situation, what is the issue, what are the different types of learners are there, how I can deal. The second thing is that identify the problem in your classroom, considering the way of working different. Example, cooperative teaching. Now, we all know there are different types of teaching, like cooperative teaching. When you collaborate, when all together works in the one situation, we say collaborative teaching. Cooperative teachings, when you turn your own way, you are finding out the ideas, finding out the situation, how we can cooperate with each other and we can find out the ways. Next slide, sir. Now here, why do we do the research, accent research? Now, why there is a need of an accent research? First one, the purpose of the accent research in teaching. Why do we need it? The first point is to improve the classroom practice. Whatever teaching, whatever learning is happening in the classroom, the first thing is that the child is able to learn, grasp the things, the improvement in the children. It is our main aim. Second thing, the understanding the students' need, what the students want. As per my first slide, I showed you that now it is a child-centric what we are dealing with. So understanding the students' need, there are different types of learner. We all know that kinesthetic learner, right? Auditor learner. So like this, we have to understand the students' need. The third thing is reflect on teaching. How we can reflect our research on the teaching, what way we can use, what process we can use. Fourth thing, it will help to empower teachers to understand the child, to get what the learning outcome the teacher wants. Then to promote the innovation in the teaching methodology. Like we have different types of methodology in the teachings. We have seen the different types of psychologists who had made the teachings, the early childhood educations into the level where the teachers can find out the different methodology like play-based method. This is also one of the teaching learning method which we can use. Then there is an So to promote the innovation in the teaching, it will help in the action research. So next slide. So what do teacher researcher do? They develop a research question based on their curiosity, collect, analyze the data, share it with the stakeholder, document the findings, examine their underlying assumption about teaching, learning, assume responsibility of their problem growth, professional growth, start where they are, not where someone else feels they should be. Now, what happens when you're taking a issue, a challenge which you are facing in the classroom? Suppose you are dealing with the students, if anyone, a child is not writing or he hasn't facing a problem. So that is your problem. You are then you will collect for this child. Can I use it for the other students also? But as we know, our students are very small. They are the foundational. We can't do the experiment with the early childhood education's children, that is pre-primary and primary, because it's a foundation. So we have to deal with the equally with all the students, and we have to see that we have to take the prior intimation we have to do to the stakeholders. Stakeholder means their parents. Then, after taking them into the loop, after informing them that we are doing such and such research for the betterment of the child, I do agree the parents will be very happy for this, that you are working so much for their students, for their child. So here what you can do, that whatever information you are getting, you have to document that findings. Then you have to examine, like pre-test and post-test. There will be a pre-test. Pre-test, when you will identify an issue, you will find out with some of the information. There should be an evidence, there should be an documentation. So you will have that information, will document it, and after documenting that things, after that you will see that what is the difference. What the that does that all the 30 students are able to find out the things which you are have put forth. Does there is some students who are lagging behind, and why? What is the reason? This will be your pre-test, your information you will collect, and after that you will examine that what type of method I will use, what type of uh, activities or some methods, like teaching methods, which you can use, or any other skills or others pedagogy or other teaching methodology which you can use for the students for learning as per the child's needs. And after that it will be helpful for yourself and also to the students. You can document that things. Yes, after doing search and action research, after examining the child, after doing search and search activities, I was able to find out that there was an improvement in the students. And you can document it and you can share with your colleagues and peers also, so that this one will be helpful for the students. Even for the higher classes, it will be the peer observation, students observation, teacher observation you can take. As per our child need, we can only do that while doing the documentation. We can observe the students. We can't evaluate, we can observe the student, that what difference we can see that. And this will be our research in that particular topic. So we are the one who had to find out the problem, and we are the one who have to do the research and find the solution for our problems. So this is the way we can do our action research as a teacher researchers. Next slide, sir. So here, the result of action research. What will be happening if you're doing the action research? The first thing is the professional development, which you will have in your professions, the improvement in your teaching and pedagogies, and improve in students' performance. You will able to understand the child's need, which is very important in today's situations, today's need. Education and change, increase in collaboration and communication, enhancing personal development, figuring and demonstrating the work, create new things, improving connect as a teacher. And the first thing is that it will build a strong bond between the teacher and the students. The bond also will be improved by bond of parents and also the students. So it will help to understand the child and also to improve the relationship between the teacher and students. This is very important in today's world. So today's teaching, what we are in the professions, the strong bond which will be built to the students will help them to have a beautiful experience in their life and to have a strong connection, as I told, the neuron lifelong with that child. So next slide. So here is a process of action research. Now, how you are going to do the action research, as I told you earlier, first thing is identifying an aspect of education practice to improve. Second thing, plan and action. Now, you can't go in the classroom like, yes, I have this problem, so I will do like this. No, first you have to plan out, because we are dealing with the primary, pre-primary students. It should be that we are going with all the students in the level according to their needs, because it's a very crucial time for their students. It's so that's why we have to plan an action. Then after planning an action, the implementation, you have to draw out this plan that yes, I'm going to plan this action, I will implement this and these things. Then after that, you will collect the data. Now here, when I'm telling about identifying the aspects, here also you are before the process of action research, you will collect the data. As I said, pre-test. The pre-test is very important, because the base is that why you are doing the action research. So first thing you have to do is the pre-test, then identify the aspect of the education practice to improve, then planning an action and implementing the action. After that, collecting the data. Now, how you will collect the data? The worksheets which they are doing, the observation you are doing, audio recording, video recording, photography, how you feel that child was responding in that. So these all are your evidence. These are all your data. You can collect and keep it. Then reflect on the action before, during, and after. So there is a three process. First thing is the before, and during the process how the child was responding, and after the acceleration take place. The next thing is taking further action. Now suppose you have done some process. Now, as I told you, the action research is not that basically yes, I have found out the solution, so this is it. No, you can keep on doing it, that what I can do for the improvement of the child, because we are dealing with the students who are learning in the where it is the foundational stage of the student. How I can improve it for the, in that 10 student, there will be 5 good in their studies, 3 below average, or 2 below average. So after doing this action research, you will see, surely you will see that the below average students will improve. The average students will also improve a little bit. Then when you want to bring this below average students to that level, so you can go further developing the second cycle of the action research. So next slide. So here, which word best describe your question? First thing is the problem, why you are curious about, what is the issue, what triggers you. Like suppose if some situation is there, just now I asked, there is a problem which you face in the classroom, there will be issues. So why it is happening, what is the problem? So these all needs, these questions will come to your mind. So first thing you will frame is the problem, the issue you will cater to. So next slide. Next slide, sir. So developing a research question. Now, how you will develop a research question? Suppose if you're doing a research in some of the topic in your teaching, or you are doing for the betterment of the students. So how you will start? What will be your beginning? First thing is that why you want to do the action research. There will be some questions. So you have to find out according to that. So what gaps are there in your current teaching situation, and what would you like to see happening? So this will be the questions in your mind, that why I'm doing this, then how it will improve my teaching situations. Then the third one will be, why are your students not achieving the same way as the others? What is the issue? Just now I said there will be different types of learners. Some will be uh, need to have more practice, more different types of teaching methodology we have to use, so that he will be able to grasp the things. So what do you want your students should know, understand, or better than they do currently? So these are some of the questions which should be in your mind when you're doing the action research. Next slide, sir. So for formulating a question, first thing you have to see that when you're doing an research, it should not be like yes or no questions. So yes, don't make same questions like yes, he's doing this, no, that should not be the action research process. Then don't waste the time in exploring things you already know the answer for. Suppose if you don't do the same practices which is already someone else is doing, what more you can do to that child? Just now we say that old methodologies, same thing if you are doing for doing that child, for the improvement of the child, it is a waste of time. What change, what new methodology you can use, so that the child can, nowadays you can see that the child is addicted to the mobile, right? So they have a due to it they have a very little time span where they can have attentive in the class, be attentive in the class. It is said that less than 30 seconds they are saying that the child is attentive in the class. So now the situation is like that. So how we can make that child should be an attentive in the class? He should be focusing on our teaching. So what new methodology we can use? So this should be the question of our action research. Be realistic in terms of time and resources. Whatever term, whatever resources using, so it should be realistic, not like in the paperwork. Use everyday language, short to the point. Now, when you're doing the action research in the class, there may be a time that when you're doing the process, that you maybe need to note down the points. Suppose if you have done certain method you have used for teaching, so you feel that yes, then there will be a observation of the child that yes, this child behaved like this when I put forth, when I did this methodology, when I used this methodology, the child was able to do like this. So you may not remember after after writing, or after whenever you are writing in the action research. So in the classroom, when you're doing the action research, see to it whatever observation you're doing, write it on the notepad. Take one small book and note it down. Yes, I saw this. The child was behaving like this, so he has improved like this. So you can note down that points. What changes you have seen in the child. So these are the some of the formulating questions or a tips for you while doing the action research. So next slide. So here are the some of the example when you are doing the action research. So how you can deal with the pre-primary all the students needs. We can't go like in higher classes sections. We can have that this thing that I have used this methodology, I gave few students this, I gave few students these things, and the students reflected like this, he had answered this question like this. So this was a my research which I have done. Because we are dealing with the primary and pre-primary students, we have to deal with all the students equally. So some of the example how we can do our action research. The problem which you are facing in the classroom, like how does using storybooks with a picture affect the children listening skill? Now I am dealing with the listening skill problem in my classroom. So my question will be in the action research, that how does using storybooks, now this is a methodology which I'm using it, right? So this is the way I'm using it. So how it will helpful for the students? So these are few of the questions which I can ask to myself and find out the research and do the research in the classroom. The next point is, can daily movement activity improve the child focus during circle time? Does the use of puppet during story time improves language expression? Now here my problem is language expression. So how I'll ask my question? I'll ask the question to me like this. Does the use of puppet during story time improve my language expression? So after finding out my problem, I will work on the solution. First, as per the Accent research, you will plan out. So now the next question is like, how does introducing breathing exercise influence classroom calmness? Now my problem was classroom calmness. So I asked, my solution was, how does introducing breathing exercise? So this was a solution which I was finding out through the question. So like this, you have to deal with the problem in your classroom. You have to ask the question, in the question, in the sense the solution for your problem, and then you have to observe that whether the child was able to, or whether the child was able to reflect or able to improve himself, or what changes you have seen in the children. So through this question you can see that. Next slide, sir. So no, backwards, previous slide, sir. So here is some of the checklists which you can have while doing the pre-test and post-test. These are some of the documentation you can have with you. As I told you earlier, it should be a realistic thing. Like you can do an interview for first, second, and even the small children, you can do the observation. Checklist of their skill behavior, what you expect from them. Then the portfolio, which we have that portfolio of the students, that how was he, how he used to behave, the individual files, diaries, journals, observation records, questionnaires, audio video recording, photography, case study, pre-post test, time on task analysis. So these are all the things are the evidence for us to do our action research. These are the things from which we can conclude that what was the result and how the children improved in that through the action research. Sir, next slide. So here the first thing is you have to remember always there are 5 W's and H of research. First thing, who, what, when, where, how, and why. So these things you have to deal with the action research. These questions you have to ask when you are doing the action research in the classroom. How I'm going to do it, what way I'm going to do it, when I'm going to do it, where I'm going to do it, and how and why. So these are the questions if you'll ask to yourself and you will go through the accent research, surely it will be very helpful for you and even for the students. So next slide. So here, some of the questions which I have put forth here. Why are we collecting the data? So this is a question we can ask for ourselves when you are doing the accent research. What we are hoping to learn from the data. So what information you want to collect from the data? Is the match between what we hope to learn, method we use. So is there any changes you can see when you are doing this accent research? So next slide. So here, what are we collecting? What is a different source of data will enable us to learn the best about this? So there are different methods. Just now I said the evidence, portfolios and everything, the way you are going to collect the data. What previous data can we use? What is the previous, like pre-test, what you are doing, how you are going to collect? What amount of data do we need? So how you are going to observe, what changes you are going to see, how much amount of data you want to collect. So these all things you have to keep it in your mind when you are doing the accent research. So next slide. How will the data be collected and displayed? So how you are going to collect the data? So whether you are going to show it in a graph, whether you are going to show it in a chart form, or whether you are going to ask the questions. You can also take the help of their parents, the stakeholder, that how they feel that when you are doing the accent research, do they observe the changes in their child? So this also will be helpful and to build a strong relationship between the teachers and the parents. How do you plan to analyze it? So this is the way how you're going to see that whether the child has improved or not. how you are going to analyze your thing, to whom will you present the findings, now whom you are going to show it. We basically show to our parents because they are the one who want to see their students the improvements. Even we can it will help for the your colleagues, those are also dealing with the same situations. So next slide. So here there is a design how to analyze the data. You can see here there are some points are jotted down like systematic approach, data influence learning, look at the themes and patterns. You can see the graph and diagrams and you can collect the informations. Visually you can show it like a graph 20%, 50%, how much improvement you have seen in the child. Even you can jot down the ideas. As I told you, you can take a book, you can note down, yes, I have used this methodology, there was a change in the child was reacting like this, the child responded like this. So even if you see that any issue if the child is facing, that it will be helpful for you to understand the child more. So this way you can do the analyzing of the data. Next slide, sir. So here next step, what will you differentiate as a result of your study? What might you recommend to others? How will you write about what you have learned so that your finding will be useful to you and also to your others? Now, others means your colleagues and your teammates, how they can improve themselves. If they are also facing the same situation, how it will be helpful. How the other students also can cater to these problems. You can give the solution for this for after finding out the research work. So next slide. So here are the 5 C's of the action research. That is commitment, concern, consideration, collaboration, and culture. So when you are going to see these 5 C's of the action research, you can find out that how you are going to develop that the action research which you are going to help, the commitment towards your work, the concern regarding your students, how your consideration of students, their issues, and the collaboration which you are doing, and the culture which you are building in the action research, which will be for the teaching learning. Sir, next slide. So here I have jotted down few of the action research, the types of action research which happens in the school, in the classroom, the individual action research done by a single teacher in their own classroom, focusing on improving a personal teaching methodology. Like suppose if a teacher is, if music helps to improve the attention during the circle time, with the play-based method curriculum, play-based methodology. So this is an individual action research, we can say that, which you are doing. Then the next slide, sir. Collaborative action research, where 2 or more teachers work together. Suppose your colleague is there, she also want to share, and she is also facing a same problem like you. You can encourage her and you can take her points, you can take her tip and peer supports and share the strategies with you, like LKG and UKG teachers. LKG we generally say to the lower KG and upper KG section. UKG, the teachers work together to improve the classroom transitions. Next one slide, sir. School-wide action research. Now here, the whole school is working to certain issues which they are facing in the class school. So all the teachers way to improve the student attendance or parents involvement. So this is a school-wide action research, we can say that. Then there is the next slide, sir. Now, university, this will regard to the whole researchers teams where you can take the help of the outside the resource persons and take the help for them to access the learning outcome, whether this methodology is good for it. So this is an universal support for the action research you can do. Next slide, sir. So through an action research, teachers don't just teach, They transform, and effective teachers connect, reflects, and evolves, igniting a journey where learning becomes life itself. So this way we can improve our learning process by doing the action research. Whatever problem, whatever situations we are facing, it is we who has to deal with it. So we have to find a solution, whether with our peers, you can discuss with your peers, you can discuss with your colleagues. So what way we can do, what situation we are facing, how we can find out the solution for it. So this way we can have a better teaching learning process. Next slide, sir. So when a teacher grow, classrooms glow. This is the last slide which is there, and hope you all get lots of information through it. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much for your insightful presentation and excellent research approach for that early childhood and primary education. We learn a lot from your session, ma'am. If you have any questions about using accent research in your classroom, this is a great time to ask Sri Lankan educators. You can ask any question from ma'am.
Here,
Ma'am,
one
shall I
thing
ask the question from you? What advice would you give a beginner teacher trying action research for classroom management, ma'am? The beginner teacher.
Okay. So first thing is that, as I told you, that when you are planning for the action research, first you have to find out the problem, and you have to see to it that whether your colleagues also facing the same situation, how they are dealing with it, right? So whether that works or not. If the type of situations which your colleague is dealing and they are not able to, it's different types of learner we have in the classroom. So suppose if they are dealing with some methodology, the same methodology, if you can use it, it will be helpful for you. But if you have some new methodology, it is you who had to find out, because as I told you, the teacher is you yourself is the researcher in this. So you have to find out the solution for your problem, finding out the different methodologies. So what methodology will be helpful for the students to for the improvement? So
Thank you,
as
ma'am.
the
Hello,
method which we
ma'am. Can I ask
yes,
something?
yes,
Ma'am.
yes.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I ask something? What is the
Yes.
qualitative research and quantitative research difference? What is the difference of that? Qualitative and quantitative.
Qualitative and
Quantitative.
difference.
Yeah.
Yes. So here, a qualitative research is regarding the method which you are using in the research, right? So when you are using the quantitative research, it is all about the numerical measurement and numerous statistics, right? Like how you show the graph as I showed you, the
Behaviors.
graph and methodologies, the surveys which you're
Ah.
doing. Suppose when I was doing a research, I asked few of the parents that what do you believe? Like today also I was going to you because of the network glitches, I was not able to use a Mintometer, right? So in that there was a different graphs and statistic that how many teachers were able to give this answer yes, how many no. So that is a quantitative research when you have a numbers, right? And qualitative research is the descriptive research where you will write down everything in your experience, behavior, open-ended questions will be there, right? It will be used for the small group of people. But when you're going for the quantitative research, it will be for the large number of students when you're dealing with the students. Now, suppose one of the example is in your classroom, how many students improved in a maths? It will be a number or a chart, right? But when it comes to the qualitative research, how do students feel about group activities? Now, what they will do, they will write a descriptive.
Okay, ma'am. The best teachers are always learning from their own classroom. I agree with you, ma'am. That as I'm a preschool teacher, I agree with you. So I truly appreciate the time and effort you put into today's lesson. It was very informative and engaging. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us, ma'am. It was a valuable learning experience. And on behalf of our Sri Lankan educators, I invite you to educate us through such a lesson at least for a week, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your
Okay.
support and cooperation. And sorry for the network issue we shared. And
It's okay, ma'am.
thank you for being so patiently listening to me. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Thank you for the
Thank you,
opportunity
madam.
for
Thank you,
presenting.
madam.
Fly so high, I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.